Now joining me in studio is Ateng Wekateng, who's President Salva Kiir's presidential press secretary. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
All right.
Yes.
Maybe we could start with the nitty-gritties of this agreement. What does it entail?
In fact, what happened on the 15th of December, as many people would like to believe, is actually a coup attempt. Those who actually argue otherwise are outside the reality. They are out of touch with the reality. It started as a democratic process within the SPLM, when the SPLM as a political party sat on the 14th and the 15th to pass the basic documents, that is the manifesto and the constitution. Dr. Riek and his group were in the first day, that is on the 14th, which is on Saturday. They think that they would be having significant number of people, of members of the National Liberation Council, but they were surprised that there were only 8 out of, and there were 136 members of National Liberation Council. So they realized that they cannot do it democratically. The basic document was passed on the 14th. Then on the 15th they came to also pass the constitution, and Dr. Riek and his group, that 7 of them, decided to abstain from Sunday process. And
Secretary, maybe just to cut you short, because we're moving forward. I mean, I think the idea here is what exactly entails this deal, this agreement between the two.
This is an argument of ceasefire. That is the cessation of hostilities has been signed yesterday, and the government is quite committed, and everybody now is happy that there will be no fighting within the next coming days. So. By the way, it has been received by the people with jubilation and ululation, and we hope that the rebel will actually respect. They are part of the agreement. Not to violate the ceasefire.
All right.
But the government is committed to stay.
All right.
To implement.
And what are some of the compromises that you can say were made so that this agreement could be found?
So far, last time you have seen how the rebels and the government has been at loggerhead in matters pertinent to the release of detainees, and the government was adamant that it cannot go into negotiation which are actually conditional. And the mediators came in actually and provided the middle ground that the cessation of hostilities has to be signed unconditionally, which they have actually signed yesterday. And within 48 hours they will go to start on what is called monitoring and verification mechanism. And then they will go to the next phase, because the release of detainees now, according to the agreement yesterday, it refers to the 27 communique of the IGAD, which is extraordinary communique, which actually recognizes the fact that the detainees are to be released in accordance with the laws of South Sudan. Okay. So it has to go process of the law.
All right. What is the state of affairs right now in South Sudan? Because as late as yesterday, we saw pictures of people still fleeing. What is the situation there right now?
In fact, the people are still fleeing simply because the rebel up to yesterday, they were still causing havoc. They were still trying to wage the psychological war against the people by, exaggerating their force, by saying that we are going to take Juba, we are going to take other cities and all this. So the citizen, owing to the fact that it was very difficult for them to to flee for their life during the fight, especially on the 15th and the 16th. They tend to believe those psychological war, and you know, and they would want to look for a safety. When in fact now the situation in South Sudan, I just came from there this evening, and it is secure. So I can say that you know, Juba is as secure as Nairobi, and I can you know assure you about this.
So after how long will we see South Sudanese nationals able to maybe go back home?
Well, it will depend on the South Sudanese who are living outside the country, believing that there is peace. Always South Sudan has a lot of opportunities. Last time, I myself, I was in England. I came back after the signing of CPA, after I realized that there was going to be relative peace in South Sudan. That's where I came back to South Sudan. Right. So by them seeing the relative peace coming back to South Sudan, they will all converge back to South Sudan, because at the end of the day anyway, they cannot live here without going back to South Sudan.
All right. Thank you very much, Presidential Secretary, for that.